Hello, this is a prepaid call from an inmate at the Virginia Department of Corrections, Red Onion State Prison. To accept this call, press 0.
This is Randall Via. I'm currently serving 1,214 years for capital murder in Red Onion State Prison in the state of Virginia in the USA. This is my podcast, Red Onion Randy. I hope you enjoy listening to me today. This is Randall Via. I'm currently serving 1,214 years for capital murder and armed robbery in Keene Mountain Correctional Center in Oakwood, Virginia. This is my podcast, Red Onion Randy. I have a toll-free number if you would like to call, leave a message, encouragement, ask a question, whatever it may be. The number is 1-888-524-1932. That's in the United States. Anyone outside of the U.S., simply put a plus in front of the 1, and it's the exact same number. I hope to hear from you.
This is part 3 of the Chaos episode. Hopefully I can finish up in this episode. I don't think y'all want to listen to a part 4 of this. Now, I left off where I'd made the decision in the chow hall, even though I'd previously I'm just going to go ahead and fight and get it over with. I need to get some stuff off my chest. I need to go ahead and remind dudes of who the hell I am, of what I'm capable of. But when I got over there, I had to change of heart. I realized how much I would really lose if I do this. Now, granted, there was going to be no weapon involved. I wasn't thinking about stabbing him. That never even crossed my mind. Beating his ass? Absolutely. But I didn't do it, and thankfully I didn't. I think the fact that I did call my buddy John and, he prayed for me and everything, I think that helped me. And to be honest, I think even after the phone call, I think he probably prayed some more, at least off and on, which I'm grateful for, But the next day, I actually see chaos. I was walking back from medical, and he was on the rec yard. Him and his pod were headed towards the chow hall for lunch. And he called me. I'm like, yo, bro, look, man, what the is going on with you, man? Like, what the hell are you doing? He's like, no, man, dude, you don't understand. Man, and that's when he explained to me the situation of he had to send his tablet to B3. So, we had to talk. I'm like, look, man. And he actually got mad at me because Cupcake wound up cussing him out for what he did. And, they kind of got back and forth, and Cupcake was like, you know what, screw you. You ain't the dude you portray yourself to be. And she cut him off and changed her phone number. Now, that's between them. I got nothing to do with that. Cupcake, well, she can be a hell cake from time to time. Now, we're sitting there talking, and he gets mad at me, like, man, dude, why you got Cupcake cussing me out, blah, blah. I'm like, bro, I ain't get her to cuss you out. This is what I told her to tell you. Whether you did it on purpose whether it was an accident or whether someone stole the information from you, I don't care, man. It's your problem. Clean it up and fix it, because you're causing problems between me and my woman. So he's like, nah, bro, no, it's this and that, man. And I'm like, look, man, either way, bro, like, I'm putting you on the wall when we run across each other. He said, man, bro, you wrong for doubting me, man. Like, how could you doubt me? And I'm like, bro, I'm not doubting you. I'm just saying, clean up your fucking mess. And that's what he doesn't understand. He's trying to play the martyr victim. Okay, I understand you didn't do this on purpose. I get that. I respect that. It doesn't matter whether you did it on purpose or not. It's your mess. You clean it up. So, you know, we went back and forth. We were through the fence. Otherwise, we probably would have done it right then and there. I love this boy. And he loves me. We're still bros. We're still friends. That ain't never going to change. You know, but if we run across each other again before I give this time back and go home, I'm going to stand him up on the wall, and I'm going to punch him in the chest as hard as I can. And then we're going to hug it out, and we're going to go grab some food, and we're going to cook together, and we're going to sit down, break bread together, and we're going to talk, laugh, and joke, and this situation's going to be behind us. But he doesn't want to accept the fact that he was in the wrong. And he's in the wrong by putting his information in a place where somebody else has access to it. If you don't want somebody getting access to it, you delete that email off of your player, especially if you're going to if I let somebody use my player, which I do not, I'm going to go through all of my emails and any address, any phone number, any email address, I don't care, any contact information whatsoever, I'm going to write it down in a separate place, and I'm going to delete those emails. I don't care if they got pictures attached to them or not, that email is getting deleted, because I'm not going to let someone have an opportunity to reach out to you. I won't disrespect you like that. Hell, I won't disrespect myself like that. But he refuses to accept that. So it is what it is. Now, eventually, Carly, like I said previously, she found out exactly who this guy is. Now, the guy whose ass I was planning on beating, Cracker, in the chow hall, he actually had nothing to do with this whatsoever. He would have been completely innocent. And that's why I'm so grateful to God that he saved me from myself. Now, look, people, you have to understand. Yes, I'm a Christian. Yes, I believe in God. I do my best to live according to what the Bible says and teaches. I'm not perfect. I don't pretend to be perfect. But I do the best I can. Sometimes I get it right. Sometimes I get it wrong. But I also live in prison. I live in an environment that the overwhelming majority of you're never going to understand or comprehend it, because you've never lived in here. You've never been in here. Even the staff members that work in prison for years and years and years don't get it. They don't understand what it's like to be a prisoner. I can intellectually comprehend the pain from a childbirth. But unless I grow a pussy and I pop a child out, I ain't going to understand it. I might comprehend it, but I will never understand it. And the same goes for you. You don't understand what it's like to live in here. You cannot allow things like this to slide. And I'm torn between two worlds. And until I get out of prison, I'm going to constantly be torn between two different worlds of living. Living the way God wants me to live, or living the way a convict should live in prison. And they're polar opposites of one another. You know, It's a heaven or hell type of situation. And that's what I struggle. I struggle between these two dynamics in my life. And sometimes it's, even though I've overcome a lot, even though I've grown a lot, it's still a fight sometimes of what's right. Because this is the thing, in both situations, I'm right. If I beat this dude's ass and I punish this cat, from a convict standpoint, from a prison standpoint, I'm in the right. And everyone in here respects me for that. Because I did what a man is supposed to do. He protects his loved ones and he sends a fucking message. Don't mess with them. But if I let it go, I forgive this guy. I don't do what my baser instincts are screaming at me to do. And I do what I did. I let it go. Me and my wife, we had to get some help from Michael too, my tech guy and my new editor. You know, he helped Nick, you know, get a new phone number and, you know, delete the old one and all that stuff so that, you know, this guy can no longer call. Like I did, you know, according to God and according to society and, you know, civilization and just being, you know, a decent human being, I did the right thing. I let it go. You know, and me and, you know, Nick, we put it behind us and we moved forward. And sometimes it's a hard choice to make. You know, I'm at that point in my life, I don't give a damn what anybody thinks of me. You know, beyond the people I love and care about. I care what Nick thinks. I care what, you know, Michael and Michael think. I care what Paulie thinks. I care what Auntie thinks. I care what Sinclair thinks. I care what John thinks and Josh, you know, Giovanna and Ava. Like, you know, Rahi. I have so many friends now that I do care about what they think. But there's still that part of me. It would be so easy to go back. And that's I realize I still have a lot more to I still have a long road ahead of me. I still have a lot of growing to do. I still have a lot of self-control to master. And I'm going to do it because I made my choice. I've chosen God and the things of God. I've chosen to do things in a different way. Now, that doesn't mean, hell, I might get into a fight 5 minutes from now. I'm not saying I won't. I'm just saying I won't start it. And I'll do my best to avoid it. And that's why I'm telling y'all this story. Even though it doesn't exactly, you know, paint me in the best light. We all get caught up in things that are not of our making. Are we going to react or are we going to respond? And in that situation, for that moment in my head, in my emotions, I was reacting. I was acting like a child. I wasn't the one being disrespected. It was Nick. But I made it about me. That's why I was going to go over there and beat that boy's ass. How dare he do this to me? How dare he try to take something from me? I wasn't thinking about Nick in that situation. And ultimately, that is what made me change my mind when I was sitting there in the chow hall at that table. Now, I haven't had a chance to speak to Chaos since then, since that day on the yard when we talked through the fence. I will eventually, but this is the thing about Chaos. He's no longer here at King Mountain. He got sent back to Wallace Ridge because, and I understand he was trying to impress Carly, and I can't blame the boy. He wrote some dumb stuff in the email. On top of that, he got snitched on by some of the Bloods in B3 because when he found out who Pickle's real identity was, he tried to get over there to B3. He was in the process of setting it up when a bunch of the other Bloods found out. Because of the Bloods in B4, they knew what time it was, and they sent word over there to tell this dude Pickles to stay in the cell. Like, he couldn't come out the cell to chow. He couldn't go to breakfast, lunch, or dinner. He had to stay in his cell and eat because Chaos was hunting for the boy. So the Bloods actually came and were like, yo, look, dude, we understand what happened. We're going to take care of it in-house, meaning they was going to beat his ass, which, as far as I know, they never actually did. They just lied. But they wound up paying Chaos off. And Chaos accepted their money. He accepted what they offered and gave him, and, he did what he did with it. And he was still going to go. But this boy, he got on the tip line, and he called it in. And they came and investigated the situation and found out where Chaos had wrote in an email to Carly that he was going to kill him whenever he got a chance. And so when they read that, the investigators came and locked him up. And 10 days later, they packed him up and sent him back to Wallace Ridge. So chances are, I'm never going to see him again inside of a prison, simply because I've made that choice. I'm working on going home. Yeah, it's a situation all the way around. I almost lost a good friend over this. I almost got into it with Chaos. Like, if me and him, if we wouldn't have had that fence in between us when we was conversating, it probably would have went down between me and him. And the sad thing is, it's not like he did it on purpose. So that's the Chaos situation. That's that little story. I probably didn't tell it the best I could, but I did my best because at the end of the day, like, it's still bringing up frustrating feelings. It still wants to bring up that anger in me just simply thinking and talking about it. But at the end of the day, you don't have to let that anger rule you. And when you do get angry, don't listen to Pantera. They're a great band. I listen to them all the time when I'm getting ready to work out. But when I start to get emotional, I'm no longer going to allow myself to listen to metal or rock. I'm actually going to put on nature music. And I have done that several times. There's been a couple of times since then where somebody has pissed me off. You got this one dude in here. He doesn't even have a job, but he runs around trying to do everything. He's always running up to the COs and talking to them and snitching. And, I mean, he's just doing some really, really dumbass stuff. And, like, I really, like, dude, what the f are you doing? Wake up, man. This is prison, bro. You can't do this. But I don't go and listen to metal no more. When I do get mad, when I do get angry, I go and I put on some nature music. So yeah, that's the Chaos story, and those are the little tricks that you use when you find yourself getting mad. Don't put on metal. Listen to something soft, quiet, and calming, and actually take a moment to step back and think about the people you love and care about, and then say, okay, how are my actions and my choices going to affect them? How is it going to affect me? What is the best route to take in this situation? And that's something that I'm still learning and I'm still working on. I hope you enjoyed listening to it. I hope you take something from this. Take care. Stay safe out there.
Thank you for using GTL.